back with a quick video. This video is not meant to start a race war or anything like that. I just want to point out something that I've always noticed about black people and mulattoes, and how I told you before. I remember reading a book. I forgot what the book was, but it came out over a century ago, and over 100 years ago. Back in the 1900s, late 1900s. Was it late? I think it was late 1900s, somewhere in there. But it was a book basically, and late 1900s, and they were talking about black people's pathology and the pathology of black people, specifically darker black people, and how they would do loud, and it pretty much broke their pathology down to a T, and it still exists. They still exact same way today, about how they would be loud and obnoxious for attention. And this is not all black people. Loud and obnoxious for attention. They do things for attention. They would only attack minority groups, and we know who the minority group in America is: the mulattoes, right? And people who are disorganized, etc. And also, hold on. Also, another big one was acting pro-black, but their actions was totally different. Don't that sound like today? That sounds very similar to today. And it's funny because during the Drake and the Kendrick fiasco, which I might get deeper on an esoteric level soon, but during the Drake and the Kendrick beef, you had a lot of essays in Mexico who were siding with black people because they want to go to the pop out concert and this, that, and the third. But it's funny how they got on Drake for saying the N word, but they never checked Mexicans for saying the N word. And I've always noticed that. And somebody pointed that out to me. He's like, if Drake was Mexican, because Kendrick is from LA. If Drake was Mexican, they wouldn't say anything about him using the N word. It's not like Drake been using the N word his whole entire career. And notice how these blacks never said anything. I mean, you have Mexicans who say the N word relentless, like they don't even care for a black person that's in front of them. But notice how they got all this smoke for light skinned dudes and mixed people and trying to bully them within their group. But when it comes to Mexicans and these other groups, they tuck their tail. They do. And it's not because the Mexicans are the biggest or the strongest or the fastest. No, it's just that the Mexicans stick together. They understand culture. They understand culture, and they'll give up their lives for their brother or sister. And black people understand that they mess with these Mexicans, it's going to be a huge retaliation. It's not going to be call the police and let the police figure things out. I'm not saying that you guys should do this at all. No. I'm just saying, just speaking in general. Like, they know they're going to pop out with the machetes and chops, all type of stuff. So they know they're going to take a huge chunk on a huge loss, and they don't want to take that gamble. But it's not because the Mexicans are the biggest, strongest, or the fastest. No, it's because they support one another. They look out for their brother and sister. They'll lay their lives down for their wives if they have to. And, black people fear that. They have culture and they support one another, which is something that mulatto men that you guys lack and you guys can learn from. Let's see what Charleston has to say.
Black people patrol and roll and storm LA looking to make other black people victims. They don't never look at the Mexicans and try to make them victims.
You don't think black people, they'll see a Mexican person and...
Nah, I know for a fact they don't. It's like them scared of Mexicans, homie. Especially if SA look like he gang affiliated. Them look the other way when it come to Mexicans. Mexicans don't look the other way when it come to, but they act like Mexicans is invisible. They try not to even have an argument with a Mexican, let alone a squabble. So homie, them is like the black Ku Klux Klan.
So you think Hispanics run LA?
They do. Yeah, Hispanics really run California, except up in the Oakland area.
Yeah.
But they most definitely run LA. And can't nobody deny that. If they is, they're a motherfucking lie, homie. When it comes to the Mexicans, they want to politic. When it comes to their own kind and their own people, it becomes about violence and hurting you.
We know this comes a lot of this part of curses, but yeah, it's the truth, man. They see that Mexican men stick together. They have a strong culture. They got heart too. And it's like I said, it's not because they're the biggest, strongest, or the fastest. It's because they stick together. All right, some of you light skinned dudes and they network with one another. Some of you light skinned dudes can learn from. And I seen black people in the comments making excuses talking about it's because, well, California is right next door to Mexico. In other words, he was scared basically. But even if I guarantee you, if something pop off in I don't know, in New York, and they make that call from to bring the Mexicans from California to New York, they be in them low riders riding all the way to New York. You know, and black people are afraid of that because black people, not all of them, but a lot of them only attack minority groups and people who are disorganized. Light skinned men are very disorganized, and they've been duped into to believing that they're on the same team as these people. And some of these dudes they cool, but a lot of these people, like not all of them, they don't really care about you guys. They don't even care about themselves, unfortunately. But they have all this smoke for light skinned dudes, call them soft and weak. But they don't never have smoke for Mexicans. I've noticed that. And I want to see why is that?
People that go against each other is the black gangs. Now, I can't speak what's going on the streets at the location, even in the joint. We already have problems with each other. We are afraid of Latino and Mexican gangs. We can say we won't. There's going to be some dudes on here that don't argue all day long with me. But I was in the joint. I did almost 20 years straight in the feds. And that go from the penitentiary to the medium highs.
Even the damn Mexicans in gangs stick together. together. I mean, we already know that when you go to jail, they click up with their own group. You know how it go. But even in there, like, you know, the Mexicans got knives. They cold with the knives. And black people are afraid of it. Even Charles was talking about that, how black men are afraid of their own blood, how they Mexican homies. Like, these black dudes that got all this smoke out there in Cali for Drake, but they don't say nothing to these Mexicans. And you guys know why. You mulatto men can learn a lot from these Mexicans and these mestizos, man.
And one thing about it, when MAs come, the Mexicans come, the brothers try to get out the way. You only have so many brothers that would go hard. First thing they gonna say, man, I'm trying to go home, man. I ain't trying to get caught up in that. You only got so many riding and dying, and they're the ones that maybe doing natural life. But the MAs, we are scared of them. We are afraid of all the Mexican gangs. We can talk stuff. DC got to go against Ohio Black. DC got to go against Chicago. Chicago got to go against New York. But when they come down to the Mexican, ain't nobody rolling against them. Because you know, when those 7-8 soldiers come, those 7-8 soldiers coming to put in the work. And you might have 2 or 3 blacks that are willing to go all the way. Because a lot of us ain't got a naturalized sentence. And a lot of us ain't never actually put in work their gunplay. I mean, with their steel. So when they get up in there, we get scared. We never go against the essays. We are extremely scared of them, and we know they're well-tuned machines. We know they take care of their business.
Yeah, they do.
They work out, they train.
The warriors, man.
They got a protocol, they stick together. We don't. Ohio don't like Michigan. Michigan don't like New York.
See, black people they got a lot of cheeks in their armor as well. They don't stick together. They don't like themselves. But they exploit light-skinned dudes and mixed. It's crazy. They do it to the mulatto cats, but like, come on.
They don't like Chicago. New Jersey don't like Texas. They don't do that. If you come in, you're a solid Mexican, you're down with them. Now, if you're on the West Coast, it might be a different thing because you got Serrano, the Northerners, the MAs. But when they just in the system in the Midwest, they rolling together, they rolling hard, they rolling deep. We as blacks are afraid of the Mexican gangs. Peace out.
You hear he keep saying that they stay together. That's why we afraid of them. You know, and that's why nobody respects a lot of light-skinned cats, because y'all don't network with one another. And you guys, I'm going to make a whole nother video about protecting yourselves and things like that. But I also want to point one more thing.